And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the world-renowned artist known as Brotha Lee. He is a great front man, a frontline soldier, a family man, but a creative and a musical genius. Someone who I was telling my sister the other day, I said, I don't follow anybody on social media who puts out more of the behind the scenes content of their process of how they come up with the beats, the music, they're rapping more than Brotha Lee. I feel a part of your project. We feel a part of it. Everybody who's watching. So first of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, brother Josh.
Yes, sir. Well, the first thing that we want to know is when is the project dropping?
Oh, okay, great, brother. So I have a project dropping. I have so much music, brother. It's like I've been having a hard time. I have to come up with 8 songs, but I have we follow each other, so I got a plethora of songs. But I have a project coming out. We're shooting for May 5th. It's 8 songs on it. 2 of them are out right now, so you can get a little peek of what the album will be about. But I'm shooting for May 5th. Drop the album. This 8 songs is going to be called Musical Therapy.
Okay. I like that. Musical therapy. Yes, sir. Now, as someone who has used since I first heard a rapper by the name of Marshall Mathers, I started using musical therapy. Like I was aware, like, oh, if I get mad, I get angry, I can throw this Eminem on, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Put some fight music on, and that's another way to release. Or when were you aware that music was a therapy for yourself?
That's a good question, brother Josh. I was aware of that, brother, about maybe 2-3 years ago, because we talked about a year and a half ago, brother, and like I told you before, I always have been doing music, but I suffer with a little bit of anxiety, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm working through it. But I started doing music. I started purchasing a little bit of equipment here and there.
Okay.
And I started making music, and then I noticed that music would kind of release me. For one, if you're an artist, it's like an outlet. As if you was painting a picture. This allows me to get my emotions out. What I'm feeling. Like I may be in a loving mood that day, and I may come sit down by my keyboard and just let it take me where it want to take me. And so at that point, I was like, yeah, brother, this got to be musical therapy, because it's allowing me to express myself, and it's also taking the burden away from me. You know what I mean? So that's when I noticed that it was actually therapy. So I was like, why not name my project Musical Therapy? Because like you said, a lot of people use it. How when we grew up, we was listening to certain rappers to allow us to release certain emotions. But also, if music is done right, like I grew up, I was a big fan of Outkast. And some of that music was kind of savage, but it was more so, I think that was the first quote unquote enlightened rappers that came out the South, because their music just had a different vibe to it. It was just, you know what I mean? So it was just, it was something I used to just mellow out, throw on some Outkast.
Yes, sir. Now, which time period of Outkast are we referencing, sir?
I'm talking about the 90s, brother. I'm talking about, I think Outkast, that first one came out, I think probably like, I want to say like 93, 94 is when they came out with that first album.
So you saying, okay, so you saying Southern Playlist,
Cadillac, funky music. Okay. That one, then the album that did it for me was when they came out with the one, I can't remember the year, but the AT Aliens album. Okay. That was the one that, and then the beautiful thing about them, they introduced the whole genre of music, because out of that you had Goody Mob.
Yes, sir.
You had Sleepy Brown. You had a whole wave of, I wouldn't say conscious rappers, but the vibe wasn't, being from the West Coast, I really got introduced with music through Ice Cube, NWA, and things like that. So when they came, it was like, it wasn't that shoot 'em up bang bang. It was more like a vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yes,
all right, now, Brotha Lee, people show you love. Walaikum salam, Sister Miriam. My sister Naima says, Brotha Lee. Walaikum salam, family. And Brother Demeric D. Muhammad says, Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam, Brother Demeric. And everybody who's watching and showing love all around the world. My sisters, of course, know like I talked to my brother Rashad right before we went live. He was like, that's the one you sent me, the girl song that you like. I'm like, yeah, man, you made the girl song. I'm like, yeah, Brotha Lee. My family gonna support you, Brotha Lee. We locked in with you.
I appreciate
Yes, sir. Now, what is the name of the first single? Because you said you got two. Let's start with the first one.
So I got a song. The first single I put out, brother, it's called True Speaker.
Okay.
And it's just a song that I wrote. Really, is dedicated to a good friend of mine who, like I told you last time, I played a lot of football, right? And it was a group of friends that I had growing up. Three of us are really we still tight to this day. But I had one brother. His name is Andre, and you may have seen this if you on my social media page. But I had a brother. His name was Andreas Porter. Let me just speak about this brother. He's been gone like over. I think he was killed. I want to say 2001. So it's been a while, but so we all grew up playing ball together. And brother went away to college, and he out of all of us, he had the most legitimate shot to go to the NFL, right? So he came home from college, and during the summertime, we would all hang out. And I never forget this. I was got a call from one of my friends. It was like, your homeboy is dead. I was like, really? So back in the days, we didn't have cell phones and nothing. So I had to call like, his house phone. And to make a long story short, he was murdered coming home from work. Working a summer job, but he was really about to transition to the NFL. He had a tryout with the Seattle Seahawks. And typical story, man. This brother grew up in the projects, single mother. He was the oldest of three children. And they took his life, man. And then I remember his mom asked us, hey, could you go in your brother's house and clean out his apartment for him? And we were going through his stuff. He had letters from all these pro teams that wanted him to come try out. And I was like, they killed my brother. So I just never forgot about him. So that song, True Speaker, is really a dedication to a brother of mine named Andreas Porter. And I named my production company after him. It's called Porterhouse Entertainment. It's like a play on two things, like, Porterhouse Steak, but because he was a big brother, so we called Porterhouse Entertainment. So that song is dedicated to a good friend of mine who's been gone. They called him Gentle Giant. He's about 6'5". Yeah, so that inspired that song, True Speaker. That's the main single. It's been getting a lot of buzz. Like, for instance, I got a couple of friends, and one of my main friends, his name is Tyrell. He's a football coach. And he says his students, they play my music in the locker room. So if you can resonate with high school students, then I'm thinking, okay, good, I got something. So that caused me to start to push the project more.
Excellent. Yes, sir. And may God be pleased with our brother, the brother Porter. And it makes me want to think about how can we support your music? How can we get it in more locker rooms? Where how do we find it on social media? Stream it? Where do we find it?
Well, thankfully, brother Josh, I'm glad you asked that question, because it's a problem I gotta fix, because I got some music under the name Brotha Lee. So that song True Speaker is on all platforms under the name Brotha Lee. Now let me spell it, because a couple people was like, we can't find you. But we from the hood, so the brother is spelled Brotha.
Okay.
Not ER. So people was like, I can't find you, Brotha Lee. I'm like, nah, it's Brotha Lee with an A. So True Speaker is under that name, Brotha Lee, and it's on all digital platforms. And then I have some music out under my name where people call me from my neighborhood, and a name that I grew up with is Big Lee, because I've always been a big guy. So I have a song out, another song that's doing pretty good right now. It's called Front Porch, and that's on all platforms.
Yes, sir.
But bear with me, I gotta fix this, Josh. But that's under the name Big Lee. So at some point when I release this album, those two songs will be on it, and I'll be able to fix that problem and marry the two names together.
Okay, yes, sir. Now, what is Front Porch about?
So Front Porch, oh brother, this is a song about just growing up, a note to my childhood. Like, for a lot of us, the front porch is kind of like when you chopped up game with your family members. So imagine this, Josh, it's summertime, August, all your family over, your old school uncles, your cousins, and y'all could be kicking it on the front porch, in the backyard, but y'all just kicking it. And a lot of good conversations, a lot of game came out of that, a lot of arguments came out of that, a lot of fights came out of that, a lot of just good memories came out of just, I'm on the front porch. And I take people back in the song. Like, I can remember, not to be savage, but I talk about in the song, I said, I remember having my first job when I was 16 at McDonald's. I worked the drive-thru, right? So my homeboys would always, oh, Lee at work. So they come in through the drive-thru, and I'm sneaking them food. So that's just one of the things I talk about in the song. Like, growing up, I remember my homies coming through the drive-thru, and I got fired because I'm sneaking them all kind of stuff we shouldn't have been eating no how, but we was like 17. And yeah, so that's just a memory of growing up. Some of the things we did, like I talk about, I had a real good friend I played ball with, and every day we would cut class at fourth period. And I'm thinking, okay, we all cutting class, so we all gonna mess up together. Nah, they was handling their business. I wasn't. So as a result, I had to suffer some consequences behind that. So we're just talking about the trials and tribulations of growing up. But it all started on the front porch, is where we used to chop up game and learn the ways of the world.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's stay right there. What are some of the consequences that you suffered?
Well, I'll tell you one major consequence I really suffered, because coming out of high school, I could have probably played football at any school I wanted to. But I didn't know, nobody told me that they look at your overall GPA from 9 to I think 11. And if you don't have a combined GPA of, I think back then it was like 2.5, then you can't get a D1 scholarship. So that's one thing I lost out on the rip. Couldn't go play ball. And I had a lot of colleges would come, then once they find out the transcript's not right, then they start slowly backing out of the commitment to you. So, and then at one point I had to go to a continuation school, which is like an alternative school to where they see you don't have enough credits to graduate. Then they're like, we're not going to waste your time or ours. We're going to send you to an adult school. And that's what happened to me eventually. It took that for me to wake up.
Okay, well, I'm glad. Yes, sir. We're going to stay right there, Brother Lee, right there. Yes, Money Boy Film says, peace to everyone. Peace to Money Boy Films, and peace to everybody who's watching all around the world. I had the same issue. I was not getting recruited from D1 schools, though I wish I was. In my mind, I was. You know what I'm saying? But school, the pressure of life and, adolescence, and I just didn't manage things well. So it took me a minute to figure out the value of education and, take it more serious. As like you said, so my friends, I'm looking at them, they getting letters and and I'm like, I just wasn't locked in, and I have dedicated my life from now moving forward for pretty much the last, to make sure that other young men don't make that same mistake. And you want to see your friend, you want to graduate with your friends, and you want to have a plan to go to, the summertime, going to campus, I visited Illinois State, all these places with my friends, but they were staying and I was coming back home.
It hurts.
And I'm looking in the dorms, and I'm like, oh, look at the cheerleaders, I'm like, to experience that. So I don't want nobody to ever have to go through that. No man should have to go through that feeling. No. It's like, man, if I was just been more serious and been more locked in. So what advice would you give to the young men who, whether they play football or not, whether they play sports or not, but just people who taking it serious so they can know how important education can change your life?
Brother, I'm gonna I tell my children, my two daughters, I tell them, hey, live in the moment. Because they often hear me talking, I'm like, man, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. And I tell my children or anybody else that's listening, don't be a wish I would have did that. You know what I'm saying? While you have the opportunity, you gotta do it, because something that haunts me to this day, and I'm sure it haunts you, Brother Josh, because you look like, dang, what would have happened if I would have, stuck to the books, handled my business? You don't know where you would have been. And that is what will bother you. So I tell my children, don't be a woulda, coulda while you have the time now. I just was having a conversation with my youngest daughter the other day. She was asking to go out with some friends of hers. And she's out, on a work project right now. And I told her, I said, well, you got to ask yourself, you took the weekend away. It wasn't to hang out with your friends. It was to, to complete this work project. So just do the work project. Your friends, that'll be there. So yeah, I would definitely tell people to live in the moment. Do not deny yourself what could really impact your future in a positive way, because you're going to regret it later if you don't.
Powerful advice. Yes, sir. Thank you to everybody who's watching and showing love. Okay, now next is the overall musical therapy. Have you, what are some of the artists that have been therapeutic for you besides Outkast?
Oh man, definitely. Well, first I'm going to name a couple brothers who locally that I want to mention that as of lately have really been inspiring me. And there's some brothers I grew up with them. One of his brothers, he's a local rapper out of San Francisco. He go by the name of Reese Matic. He just released a music video. It's called The Hate Is Real. And there's another brother who I grew up with. He grew up in the I grew up in the houses, but he grew up in the hood. Geneva Towers housing projects. They're not around anymore. They tore them down, but his name is Yak the Plug.
Okay.
So these are some young brothers that we came up together. So, and I see them, we're the same age group, and they doing music, and they got some fire music. But as far as like artists, like on a mainstream level, and that's a good question. Always J. Cole.
Okay.
Always
Okay.
J. Cole.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I stay listening to our brother Jay Electronica. Oh my God.
Okay.
Just the levels of creativity that brother has is just something crazy. I'm constantly listening to you know, Jay-Z, Kanye West. And I kind of keep it in that little, I don't know a lot of the young rappers. Like I try to listen to some of it. I know the local ones that's from the Bay Area, but I kind of stick in my little genre of rappers that are kind of like my age group.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, I only have one suggestion. Through some musical therapy, it's a guy, artist named Big X the Plug,
Oh, okay.
and I listen to him all the time. And he doesn't even do hooks. His thing is like he blew up just off of 16. He always does a soulful beat,
Right.
and that's it. So now he's taking off more now because he's doing songs with more. But his originally it was 16. You getting 16, that's it. And
Yeah.
the beat was just good. I was like, man, okay, who was this dude? And he's
Hey,
from yeah.
you
And
know
I
what's
listen.
crazy? You know what's crazy? I work with a brother. Shout out another brother. His name is Aaron. Aaron. I call him AB on a company called Audio Mix Factory. But we were just having a conversation. Music nowadays, it's no. Back when I was coming up, it was a guideline. Three
Okay,
verses, a hook. Now it's whatever you want to do, brother. If it's whatever you want. It's your art. It's your story. So yeah, I like that. Just the fact that the brother could do 16 bars and it's music. I mean, it's no way to do it but your way. You know what I mean?
yes, sir. Okay. Also, you have two daughters. What advice would you give? No, let's start right there. How did having daughters? How did it affect you personally, and how did it affect your music?
Brother. It's a challenge, brother. It's a challenge. It was a struggle to raise my two daughters, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm having struggles to this day with my children. It's hasn't been an easy path, but one thing I've learned, brother, that I used to look down on myself as a parent when things weren't going right with my children. Like, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? And then I was having a conversation with a brother the other day. It's like, brother, it's not always a knock on your parenting skills. Sometimes people have to go through what they have to go through to get what they want to get. So it's been a challenge, brother Josh, raising two daughters. It hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of bumps in the road, but I must say they are. My oldest one is working, and my young one, they're both working and going to school. And like I told you, my mom lives with me. She's elderly, so my youngest daughter, who was 18, it's some things I could not do in life without her presence because, if I take care of my mother, I'm not a woman, so I don't know what special needs might need to be addressed from that end. So thank God I have an 18-year-old daughter who's willing to put her free time aside and get her grandmother up and help with bathing. And I tell her all the time, I say, you know what? Allah is going to bless you for that because this ain't even this your grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So just your sacrifice right now. I tell her all the time, Allah is watching, and that won't go unnoticed. You know what I mean? So that is a blessing that was given to me. But also with the music, I have to be cautious. So I try to push a fine line, like because I want to put a message in the music, but I still want to be able to make it relatable. So I always ask my youngest daughter, can I do this? Can I get away with this? How do you see this? I sound my ideas off both of them. And they let me know, Dad, that's not a good look for you. Or, yeah, Dad, that's fire. Or sometimes they'll share my music with their friends and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay, good. Now, what made you take on the awesome and respectful responsibility of taking care of your mother?
Man, I kind of knew it was gonna be me, brother Josh, because I'm the youngest. I got two older brothers, but I was the last one to leave the house. So my oldest brother, he played D1 football. He went to Washington State. He was a free safety. He could have went to the league. My middle brother, he went to Nevada Reno. He on a basketball scholarship, and now he has a successful AAU league that he runs called SF Work Hard, Play Hard. He's pretty big out here in the Bay Area. But I'm younger than him by 7 years. and I'm younger than my oldest brother by 11 years. So I was the last one to leave. So they were going away to college. I'm still running around, you know, and by that time, you know, my parents had separated. So it was just me and moms. And I'm really, brother, I'm so indebted to my mom because I remember at the age of 16, I started going to the mosque. And she didn't know nothing about the nation. I remember she just knew about Malcolm X. And then I remember I was going to the mosque and she wasn't really agreeing with it because I started changing. But I'm really thankful to her. And I really believe that Allah has been blessing her because she had 2 strokes. And out of all her friends, she's the only one kind of still going. But I believe it's her sacrificing and allowing me to go to the mosque. Even when she didn't agree with what I was doing, she said, okay, son, you go to the mosque. And as a result, you know, the funny thing, at 82 years old, she came to the, I brought her to the mosque today, brother. So, what else? I lost my train of thought, but brother Josh, I'm saying, being the youngest one, I was the last one. So I was always around my mom. And she was just stuck with me through all the, you know, being 16, trying to run the streets. And so I always knew that we had a close bond. And I knew if anything happened to moms, I wasn't going to leave her side. So when she got sick, her and my dad got back together. And my dad moved back in. He took care of her. He passed away in 2008. But I'll never forget, we had a conversation before he passed away. He gave me all the game. It was more so him like passing the guard to me. I didn't see it at the time, but now as a grown man, as I look back, he would start explaining stuff over periods of time. Son, I need you to do this with your mom. Son, needs to be done this way. And then when he passed, it was like, here am I, send me Allah. And ever since then, I was taking care of her. First, we weren't in the same household. Then she got a little bit up in age, and I just decided to bring the whole family in together. And I've been living with her since she's been living with me since 2019.
Praise be to God. Go ahead, Brother Lee.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Josh.
We salute you. We support you. And okay, so now, majority of artists from Dear Mama, you know what I'm saying, to Hey Mama with Kanye West is some type of mother song. Have you ever dedicated a song to your parents, your moms? Have you ever mentioned them in your music?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I have a song, Brother Josh. I don't know if you ever heard it, but I released a song about 5 months ago. It's called Mother's Love.
Okay,
and, But I pulled the project because it was a nice song, and I'll send it to you a little later on, after we finish. But the mix wasn't. So when we first started talking, I was just releasing music, but I've learned so much since then that the product has to be mixed and mastered perfectly before you can release it, because you only get one chance to influence someone. So I pulled a lot of my music off the shelf because I didn't like the mixes. But that song was a song I did called Mother's Love, where I talk about some of the things I just explained to you in the song. And I'm going to send that to you. And then hopefully, if not this project, the next project, I could have it mixed and have it released. But I have made the song. Thank you, brother.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. What are your parents' names?
Well, my pops is deceased. His name was Charles. His last name, his slave name was Thomas, and my mom's name is Alice.
Yes, sir. God bless your parents, both of them. Yes, sir. Hold it down. Okay. Now let's talk about this project once again. How can we support? Do we type in Brother Lee on one and Big Lee on the other? But let's make sure we all support the stream because it's trending, it's going up, the views are going great. So we want to add to it.
So let me say this, y'all. So the project that's coming out on May 5th is going to be Big Lee. And that's because I'm just gonna go with that name. And but until then, I still have music out there under both names. But I'm gonna shift everything towards, the name everyone knows me by my whole life is Big Lee. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now, Big Lee, are there any what's basketball season right now? So are you a Warriors fan? What's going on? Like, who you ride with in the playoffs?
I'm a Warriors fan, bro. I don't really watch basketball until it gets to the playoffs. I'm a huge boxing fan, bro. I watched the fight last night with Jerron Boots Ennis, and he was fighting I can't pronounce this cat name. He was from I forgot where it's from, but it was a unification bout. So but I rock with the Warriors, bro, up until when the playoffs kick in. Yeah, definitely. I'm watching football. Leia, you know what's crazy? I've been watching a lot of women's basketball, brother. These sisters be balling.
Okay.
The March Madness tournament, because
yeah. You gotta watch March Madness now.
Bro, I'm a huge fan of that sister named Flajay Johnson. She played for LSU. I follow her on social media. she rapped too, so she kind of made me pay attention. So I've been kind of really just on women's basketball. It's really entertaining, bro. So yeah, as far as football, you know, I'm a Niner fan. I was born and raised in San Francisco, brother. So
I know how I see how serious the Niners game take it. I know how people take it to take that red out there.
I got an Open A's hat on right now though, just because I'm trying to be supportive of the Bay Area, man.
Yes, sir. Now I wanted to speaking of Flaja, of course, her father is you know, a man who introduced me. That's my time period. Her dad, music, and
wow.
Yeah, when I came to Atlanta and they was playing his song when I went to high school in Atlanta, and shout out to Cut Friends, shout out to Camouflage. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So her dad is
he was huge out there, huh?
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So every time I see her, I'm like, man, I remember your dad. I remember exactly where I was, the time period, the dance, how everybody was going crazy over Cut Friends, and how we was because we didn't. That's not. I'm from Naperville, which is like outside Chicago. That's not our language, cutting it all. So we ain't know. So when I came to Atlanta, I'm like, what's a cut friend? You know, who they like? Oh, you never heard this song, Cut Friends? You never. So it's introducing me to the Southern. You know, I learned about So shout out
yeah, no, I remember I saw a documentary when she was talking about her dad, and you know not the funny thing, but it's crazy because I remember some years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but me and my children, my two daughters, we used to watch this show. It was with Jermaine Dupri, and they was trying to make future rap stars.
Oh, yes,
that
sir.
show was with the sister
Lotto, yes, sir.
But Fly J was on that same season as a young rapper.
See, I didn't watch the show. My mom was the most random thing in the world. My mom's just like, Josh, you know, you're not keeping. I'm like, Mama, I'm not watching that show. She's like, it's a good girl. It's good people in here, and you never know what people give. I'm like, Mama, stop watching that show. And like after artist after artist after artist came, Silento, him, and all those people was coming off that show, and my mom's like, oh, this person. I'm like, how do you know these people?
And I used to watch that with my daughters. We sit up there and tune into that show every week, bro.
Yeah. My mom just watched the show for sure. Okay. Is there? Do you ever rap like girl songs, like love songs? Is that something you ever talk about? Feelings, emotions, stuff like that.
I got a whole bunch of songs, and I try to steer away from that because I was getting flack from a lot of my friends. I was like, that's all you do, bro. Because I had a song called Everything to Me. And again, I hate to be talking about it because I had to pull the releases because the mixes, like they sound, you know, the one thing I noticed, Josh, when I'm in here in the little studio, everything sound good. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you a little something that artists deal with. So you in here making the music and you might be in the garage and everything sound good. But the trial is when you take it from your garage to your car, then from your car to your AirPods, you want everything to sound the same. So when it doesn't sound the same, that's when you know, okay, I need to get a quality mix on this. So a lot of the music, but I have a song called Everything to Me. And then one song that I sent to you way back in the day, Perfect Match.
Yeah, you took that down?
All that down, bro. But see, Josh, when we first connected, I was really, I told you, I've always been in the music, but I was just finding my way as far as producing. I always knew I could write, but it was as far as like producing and getting my sound, I was still getting my feet wet. But you know, we follow each other on social media. I've been diligently, like every day, trying to perfect my craft. Because a brother was telling me, he was like, brother, wisdom is wealth. So you got to marry those two. So I said, I need to get as much wisdom on this music and this mixing and master so I can make it really mean something on the wealth side. So yeah, I was getting my feet wet, Josh, but I think I'm getting on to something now.
Yes, sir. Well, I know that I look forward and we look forward to your upcoming video releases. And inshallah, when I get a chance to come to the Bay Area and back now, to be exact.
There you go.
Yes, sir. We look forward to coming out there, and I really want to see what San Francisco is really like and what the West Coast has to offer with the live interviews. I look forward. I know some crazy backgrounds we can get while we out there, the hills and all of that. And
I already mentioned, hey, bro, I already mentioned you. I already put it out there. I spoke to Minister Sabor yesterday about you, bro. So yeah. So all we got to do is have a conversation and let me know when you're available. Hey, let me add something real quick that I want to say, brother Josh. I really want to network with some of our people that's doing music in the nation. So if it's anybody out there that you know, from any mods that you're doing music, Yeah, my social media is Big Lebo on Instagram, and then on Facebook it's Leon X Thomason. Tap in. I would love to network with some of my folk in the nation on some music or just anything. So that's where I'm at with it, brother Josh.
Yes, sir. And that's what we're here for. The more we stay connected, interviews and social media as well. And then once I'm really out there, because when I come out there, I'm out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. So you already know how we come in. So as soon as I come out there, like Joshua's out, I'm really gonna be tapping in to all of my death row, my Tupac, West Coast.
Bro, hey, listen, let's make that happen this summer, bro. Let's stay in contact.
Okay.
I know I got your number, so if you even feel like you need to get away for a minute, hit me, bro, and I can put a play together. Just as long as you give me a week or two to wiggle, brother, I can put a play together. It would be an honor to have you out here, bro. Just because you done, let me just give you your flowers, bro. The work you do, brother. Every time I see you interviewing someone, I be like, this brother. Then I saw you with Snoop on the platform the other day. I'm like, I'm running through the house showing everybody, look. So, brother, I appreciate everything you do, bro. I mean, you are an inspiration to me, brother. So, yeah, just when you get some free time, brother, it's you got to come out this way, bro. We got to do a tour of the whole state.
I look forward to it, and man, it means a lot to me. Let me give you your flowers as well, sir. Once again, you inspire me every time I get on Instagram to see you chasing your dream, pursuing.
Yes, sir.
Mom, and you don't make no excuse for time. We have to be about our business and about our dreams. So may Allah continue to bless you, sir. And
yes, sir.
I look forward to coming to the Bay Area.
Yeah, we're gonna talk, bro. Your connection was kind of going in and out, but we're gonna talk. We got to get you out here, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I look forward to it. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, brother.